always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Greetings, people of Earth and the known universe. You're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. This is your Captain Keith, and we've got a lot of entertainment news for you today. First on deck is, and our theme was keeping up with Kanye. Kanye West, former assistant, has last video of Donda West words of wisdom that he needs to see. Donda West, Kanye's mom, of course, may she rest in peace. So the story has it that it's been reportedly uncovered what may be the last video of Dr. Donda West ever recorded, in which Kanye's mother delivers a passionate speech about staying true to your beliefs through all of life's challenges. Nubia Stevens, a former assistant of Dr. West, believes watching the tape may help Kanye through what seems to be a difficult time in his life right now. Stevens actually performed CPR on Donda in her final moments as she tried to save her life following her cosmetic surgery recovery. Sources close to Stevens tell The Blast that she's in possession of a recording that she took of Dr. West on November 2nd, 2007. During a speech at Atlanta's Spelman College 8 days later, she died. According to the report, Dr. West was the keynote speaker at the Single Parent Student Summit, and she described how she divorced Kanye's father, Ray, when Ye was just 18 months old. What's that about? She touched on the difficulties of raising a child as a single parent and how she was able to find the strength to manage her darkest days. Stevens says the video has served as a source of healing and closure for her over the years, and she feels Kanye could benefit from hearing his mother speak her words of wisdom, many of which parallel his own. Some of the topics in Dr. West's hour-long speech include knowing where you came from and where you are going, not letting anyone stand in your way, and have no fear. Now, those are good things to talk about and say. She also gushes about her son during the speech and her unconditional love for Kanye. Dr. West stressed the importance of parents and children staying close. Meanwhile, Kanye appears to be going through a very stressful time in his life, and Stephen wants him to view his mother's last speech to help provide comfort and closure. As we reported, Kanye has made a move towards seeking closure on his own by offering to sit with the doctor who performed plastic surgery on his mother before she passed and heal together. Okay. All right. So we'll see if Kanye will reach out to Stevens and watch that video. Pharrell Williams to open his first restaurant and cocktail spot in Miami. All right. Pharrell Williams is venturing into the restaurant business with his first restaurant and cocktail lounge set to open in Miami. The Virginia native is calling his spot Swan and Bar Bevy. It's located at 90 Northeast 39th Street and will span 17,000 square feet, according to South Florida Business Journal. Williams is launching the restaurant with nightlife guru David Grootman, who owns the popular nightclub Live, L-I-V. It will operate under Grootman's company, Groot Hospitality, which services other Miami restaurants like Komodo, L-I-V, Hard Rock Stadium, OTL, and Planta. Williams and Grootman, I'm not sure, have been working on Swan and Bar Bevy, the restaurant, for nearly 2 years. Pharrell has some great ideals. Grootman quotes saying, Pharrell has some great ideas and visions. And this is what he told the South Florida Business Journal. I think it's going to be the most beautiful restaurant in Miami. The business partners have yet to announce an official opening date for the restaurant, but Swan and Bar Bevy Miami has already launched its official website, where new details should be revealed in the coming months. So that's cool. Congrats to Pharrell, letting people know I'm not just a producer, singer / rapper, musician. I'm a businessman too. That's right. And, Kells, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. R. Kelly. Lifetime plans movie and docuseries about his sex scandal / cult. Okay, folks. I'm sorry. I gotta report the story. Okay, excuse me. I'm sorry. Love my job. Love all of you guys out there listening. R. Kelly is set to be the focus of a documentary over at Lifetime, as the network has announced it's developing a series and a movie that will examine. I'm sorry, folks. I am okay. Just trying to maintain my composure. So, yeah. And I'm a fan of Lifetime Network. They've Unreal is a great show. It's really dark and interesting. And Surviving Compton with Michelet was an amazing movie. Yes. Okay, let me get back to it. All right, sorry. Start that over again. Okay, folks. R. Kelly is set to be the focus of a documentary over at Lifetime, as the network has announced it's developing a series and a movie that will examine the sexual misconduct allegations against the singer. The first project is an untitled documentary series that will investigate rumors of abuse, predatory behavior, and pedophilia surrounding the singer. Alleged survivors of Kelly's abuse and people from his inner circle will participate, providing allegations about his alleged sexual, mental, and physical abuse. Lifetime has also greenlit a movie that will delve into the inner world of R. Kelly, detailing allegations of abuse and mind games. The documentary series and movie are executive produced by Joel Carlsberg and Jesse Daniels of Creative with the K Incorporated, which, as part of their production deal, is backed exclusively by Bunum / Murray Productions BMP. Dream Hampton is an executive producer on the documentary series, along with Bree Miranda Bryant from Lifetime. Eileen Kahn Powers serves as an executive producer on the movie, and Barbara Marshall will write the script. So what we've seen in the last year in particular is the tremendous power of women's voices when given the opportunity to share their truth, said Bree Miranda Bryant, Senior Vice President of Unscripted Development and Programming, Lifetime. But there are important stories still untold, stories of bravery, resilience, and defiance that demand to be heard. This is one of those stories. Yes, it is. The projects are part of Lifetime's relaunched Stop Violence Against Women campaign, in which the network is partnering with organizations to spread awareness, empower women, provide healing tools, and support for women in need of assistance. The initiative will also include educational resources and outreach to young women in high schools and colleges nationwide, so young women have tools to discuss and address the ways these issues affect their lives, particularly for women of color. All right. R. Kelly has been the subject of multiple sexual assault and rape accusations over the course of his career. He most recently found himself under renewed scrutiny when reports surfaced that Kelly was operating a cult in which he allegedly brainwashed teen girls after telling them he could help their musical careers. Will you be watching Lifetime's R. Kelly projects? Yes, I will be. Yes. Looking forward to it. Lifetime is a great network. We at Golden State Media Concepts, we love all the networks. So let me say that. Kylie Jenner. Baby daddy drama. Kylie Jenner's former bodyguard, still believed to be Stormi's real dad. The plot thickens. This rumor will not settle just yet. Let me settle into this one, folks. Okay. Kylie Jenner's A-list status ensures that she is well equipped with an arsenal of bodyguards to help her navigate hordes of crowds who gather en masse to witness her every move. However, one of her former employees is beginning to stand out from the mostly anonymous pack of security personnel that routinely flank the cosmetics mogul. Tim Chung, who worked with Jenner in the past, is witnessing a public scandal that alleges he is the true father of Stormy Webster. When reviewing an image of Chung next to the newborn, some resemblances can be observed, including a shared set of amygdaloid eyes. I don't even know what that word is. Shared set of eyes and lighter skin complexion. We'll just go with that because I don't even know if I want to say that word. Okay. Paparazzi recently caught Chung entering the Lila nightclub in West Hollywood to celebrate his birthday. The prying cameraman asked the bodyguard about the rumors that are gaining traction on the internet, but he chose to stay mum and not address the situation. So, what's really going on? Is he Stormy's dad or not? That's wow. I guess we'll find out. Very interesting. The Death of Superman trailer debuts online. So yes, folks, DC has an animated movie coming out on Superman. The project is the first installment of a 2-part film cycle. Warner Brothers Entertainment will be unleashing a new DC Universe film this summer that features their iconic roster of superheroes in animated form. Death of Superman will be released directly to DVD and is a cinematic adaptation of the beloved and wildly successful comic book of the same name. I believe The Death of Superman was the most sold comic book in world history, I believe. So, yeah, it's kind of pretty crazy. The film will be followed by Reign of the Supermen, which is expected to be rolled out sometime in 2019. So here's the official synopsis of the animated fare. When a hulking monster emerges from an underground resting place and begins a mindless rampage, the Justice League is quickly called in to stop the colossal force of nature. But it soon becomes apparent that only Superman can stand against the monstrosity that has been nicknamed Doomsday. And by the way, that's like a perfect name for a villain. It just is. Gotta, yeah, it is. Battling their way throughout America, the two fight to a standstill as they reach the heart of Metropolis. Going punch for punch, Superman finally ends the threat of Doomsday as he throws one last punch and collapses forever. It's heavy, folks, heavy. Death of Superman will star Jerry O'Connell, Rebecca Romijn, Rainn Wilson, Rosario Dawson, Nathan Fillion, Christopher Gorham, Shamara Moore, and Jason O'Mara. So look for that, folks. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna watch that. I mean, I've owned the comic book, I've read it, but I'm gonna watch that movie out of curiosity to see if they do it justice. So it'll be interesting. But I do wonder why now they decided to do this film so many years later. But okay, we'll find out. And folks, Azealia Banks is back, folks. She talks being blacklisted and calls Cardi B an illiterate rat. Okay, so let's talk about this. The Breakfast Club's guest Friday morning was controversial rapper Azealia Banks, who recently dropped her Junior Sanchez-produced new single, Anna Wintour. Banks discussed a wide range of topics, including Donald Trump, Kanye West, her ongoing spat with former mentor RZA, as well as her previous criticism of Cardi B. So, we will say this, Azealia Banks keeps on, she seems to have a lot to say in a critical way in regards to new female rappers that are, doing well in the mainstream. So, yeah, just wanted to mention that. She explained that she was concerned that Cardi's ghetto persona was harming the culture, as the former reality TV star was simply a caricature of a black woman. When I look at black women's culture as a whole thing, and you think about the media and the power that the media has the power to get rid of me, and the media has the power to make anyone the forefront, Banks offered. That is true. 2 years ago, the conversation surrounding black women's culture was really reaching an all-time high, and we were really discussing our power amongst ourselves. And Beyonce came out with Lemonade. There was just this really, really, really intelligent conversation going on nationally, and then everything just kind of changed, and then it was like Cardi B. She continued. I'm just talking about this character of a black woman that black women themselves would never be able to get away with. Like, if my spelling and grammar was that bad, I'd be canceled. If Nicki Minaj spelled like that, we would be ragging on her all day. Okay, well, She has a point. Okay, she does. She's right in that regard. She also addressed her experience of having to #bounce back after being blacklisted. The powers that be have given me some leeway, she explained. I'm back a little bit. They let me stick my head through the window. They didn't let in the door yet. Of course I had to change. I don't know what I've had to change, but I feel like I've changed. I feel different. I don't feel as tense as I did when I first came out. Just tense, angsty. I've been trying to grow and change for a very long time, and I just haven't been given the room to do that. Banks then pointed to other details about Cardi, like her limited grasp on grammar, stating that if she or Nicki Minaj's own spell was as bad, they wouldn't be able to get away with it. Okay. All right. I understand what she was saying. So, also, in more entertainment news, well, we'll get to that after this break.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And we are back once again. Welcome. You are listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. This is your Captain Keith. We were talking about Cardi B and Azealia Banks and her interesting interview with the Breakfast Club. And now it's back on to, yes, folks. Camille Cosby reportedly is upset with Keisha Knight Pulliam for not standing by Bill Cosby. So let's talk about that. And Keisha Knight Pulliam, as you all know, is the one we all love, the America's favorite little girl, Rudy Huxtable, adorable. So Camille is reportedly upset at former Cosby kid Keisha Knight Pulliam for pulling back her support for her TV dad, Bill Cosby. Pulliam, who played Rudy, the youngest Cosby daughter on the classic hit series, The Cosby Show, was one of the few celebrity supporters who came out publicly to walk arm in arm with Bill during his sexual assault trial. But since the disgraced comedian was found guilty of sexual assault against Andrea Constant on April 26, Pulliam's support has allegedly waned. According to BET, Camille wants Pulliam to make a statement to the court in support of her husband ahead of his sentencing, Radar Online reports. So, Camille wants Keisha to write a letter or make a statement supporting Bill after his guilty verdict, but Keisha has refused. Pulliam reportedly believes she's done enough, says a source. She thinks she has done enough. You know, she's even been to court and stood by Bill, but at this point she won't do anything else, and Camille is furious. Camille recently popped off in a lengthy 800-word statement defending her husband. She compared Cosby's accusers to Emmett Till's accuser. Really? Really? Seriously? Chastised the media and called the district attorney office's campaign unethical. This is mob justice, not real justice, she wrote. In the next 60 to 90 days, Bill Cosby will be sentenced for 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault he was found guilty of, and those charges come with a 5 to 10 year possible sentence and a $25,000 fine. Okay. And we understand that, of course, is, Camille Cosby is upset about what's going on with her husband, and I get that. But when we talk about Emmett Till, that is a very sensitive subject. So it's pretty interesting that she wanted to use that. Okay. Alrighty then. Meek Mill shoots his shot with a lingerie-clad Rihanna. So Meek Mill simply can't resist the sight of Rihanna in lingerie. Okay, I can understand that, definitely. I totally get that. Totally. Sometimes all a man can do is shoot his shot and hope for the best. Short of sliding into the DMs, Instagram comments are often a viable, less intimate alternative. Granted, if the subject is if the subject in question is Rihanna, the comment section tends to turn into a feeding frenzy, not unlike sharks on chum. Okay. That hasn't stopped Meek Mill from boldly venturing forth an attempt as suitors aspirant have done for years prior. Today, Meek was caught running game by the ever-watchful eye of the Shade Room, who put his effort on display for all competitors to see. Employing what many experts have come to identity as pun game, Meek hit Rihanna with a double entendre for the ages, Robin Thicke. Admittedly, Rihanna's birth name is Robin with the YN, and she is most definitely thick in that regard. The comment is an unmitigated success. Yet it does seem strange that Meek is essentially praising a woman by comparing her to a man because he spelt it Robin, R-O-B-I-N, and then, of course, thick, the T-H-I-C-K-E. So, in all fairness, landing a date with Rihanna is no doubt a difficult task. Yeah. We can only hope that Meek is up for the challenge. Yeah, I mean, that's Rihanna, so yeah. She's a household name. She's a philanthropist, a successful singer and actress. So yeah. If not for anything, the Drake reaction alone would no doubt make everything worth it. Still, one can hardly blame Meek, and he wouldn't be the first rapper to leave their mark on Rihanna's comment section. You know, tip your hats to the wins and losses rapper. Tip your hats to the wins and losses rapper, and let us hope he can land another one in the win column. So yeah, we'll see about that. So there's a picture of Rihanna in lingerie, and it's a nice picture. I mean, I get why he posted a comment. I did. And he has nothing to lose, right? So, you know, nothing mentioned, nothing gained, as they said. Or as my mom would say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So I get it. Donald Glover, Danny Newton, talked joining the Star Wars universe. So that's right, because the new Han Solo Star Wars story comes out this May. So the Force was on full display this past Thursday night in Hollywood, along with the Millennium Falcon, for the world premiere of Solo, a Star Wars story. So Hollywood and Highland was the location for the premiere screening of the latest prequel in the Star Wars franchise. Solo tells the story of how space bad boy Han Solo, played by Alden Ehrenreich, and his fuzzy sidekick Chewbacca became co-pilots on the signature spacecraft. The film also stars Thandie Newton and Donald Glover, who plays a young Lando Calrissian. The original role made famous by Billy D. Williams, that's right folks, legendary Hollywood actor Billy D. in the 1980 release, The Empire Strikes Back. The elder Lando attended the premiere and shared what it was like meeting Glover and what advice he gave him on the role. We sat down and I had a bunch of ideas of what it was going to be, and he threw it all out the window. He was just kind of like, I don't know, be charming. That was sage advice. He was like, keep it simple, stupid. Glover's role was special to him because as a kid, the Lando action figure was the first toy he received as a kid from his dad. Okay, that's cool. He really changed my life because Star Wars was like the first story I ever knew. We had it on like VHS, like ripped from a laser disc. I just wanted to be that guy. Okay, I like that. I can dig that. That's cool. Director Ron Howard gave great perspective on Glover. Donald is so inventive, but he's also an intellectual, he said. He thinks like a writer, and then he happens to also be a great performer and tremendous work ethic. So that's cool. Also spotted at the red carpet was singer Christina Milian and Grownish star Trevor Jackson, Ballers, Omar Benson, and actress Yvette Nicole Brown. So Solo, a Star Wars story, opens this May 25th. So make sure you guys go check it out. I can't wait to see it. It should be really cool and very intriguing. So did you folks know that Tina Knowles, Beyonce, and Solange's mom, reveals that Solange had counseling to deal with Beyonce's success? Wow. So yeah, let's dive into that. When Beyonce and Solange Knowles were little girls, their mother sought out counseling for both of them to help ward off jealousy and other negative sibling rivalry issues that happen when one child is clearly more talented than the other. I don't know if I would have wrote that in the article, but okay. And by the way, Solange Knowles is very talented, so. And of course Beyonce is too. Both sisters are talented. It's a win-win. Beyonce's Lemonade was and is a great record, and Solange Knowles' A Seat at the Table is an excellent record as well. So, in a new interview with Marie Shriver, Tina Knowles Lawson said it was a necessary move because Beyonce was already emerging as a star as a child, and she wanted the girls to be able to handle the challenges that came with that. I wanted Beyonce to be sensitive to the fact that Solange had to deal with being a little bit in her shadow, Knowles explains to Shriver. And yes, that is true. That's an excellent point. It was tough because Solange was 5 years old and Beyonce was this little superstar in our city. She said, I took them to counseling very early so the counselor could help Beyonce be more sensitive to Solange because she couldn't stand her for a minute. She said that Solange who was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, depression, and possible ADHD as an adult, would irritate her older sister while they were growing up in Houston. And she believes the counseling was successful in helping Beyonce understand what was going on in Solange's head. So every Wednesday, Tina Knowles would take the day off from work when Solange was young and spend time with her. It appears that her efforts back then paid off because she knows that Beyonce, 36, and Solange, 31, are extremely protective of each other now. And that's good. That may explain why Solange went off on Jay-Z and sat in an elevator at the Standard Hotel in Manhattan after the Met Gala. Oh, yeah, that's famous. We all know what a superstar that Beyonce is, but Solange is finally starting to come into her own as of late. In fact, she took home her first Grammy last year, winning the award for Best R&B Performance for her song, Cranes in the Sky. Great song, great record. So, did Tina do the right thing by putting her daughters in counseling? You would think the consensus answer would be a big yes. Based on some of the social media comments we've seen, that's not necessarily the case. But I'm not going to read those comments because it all worked out. It was a very wise move on Miss Knowles' part. She's got 2 successful daughters. Win-win in my book. So, and there's no need to talk about who's more successful than the other. That's already obvious, but that's not. The big picture is both of her daughters are successful entertainers, musicians, singers. That's good. That's great. So, was rapper Cardi B bullied into deleting her Instagram account? This goes back to the comments that Azealia Banks made on the Breakfast Club about Cardi B being an illiterate rat. Oh, yes. Let's get to it. Musician Cardi B gained her following on social media way before she got into the mainstream media. However, the Bodak Yellow singer deleted her Instagram account after a verbal exchange with Azealia Banks, another rapper, another rapper who's a female rapper. In an interview with the Breakfast Club, we already spoke about this, Banks implied that intelligent conversation changed when Cardi B came to the picture. Now, this is definitely a conversation and a dialogue that has 2 different sides. There's the Azealia Banks side that's saying she's probably right. There's the Cardi B side saying she's wrong and you're being a hater. So, just giving that preface because this does become a conversation. There was just this really, really, really intelligent conversation going on nationally, and then everything just kind of changed. Then it was like Cardi B, Banks said during the interview. It was not the first time Banks has insinuated that Cardi B is illiterate. She had in February called the pregnant rapper an illiterate, untalented rat. Before she deleted her Instagram, Cardi B had responded to Banks' insults. And let me read to you what she said, and this is off of her I Am Cardi B Instagram. I reread this a couple of times for the Aquilas and the B's out there. A woman who constantly finds joy in belittling black women, Beyonce, Rihanna, Sky Jackson, and Remy Ma, can't try and stand for them because it's convenient. The difference between me and you, I've never pretended to be or represent someone I'm not. I've made it where I am for being myself and staying true to that. I'm not trying to represent nobody but myself. You busy trying to be a voice of reason and a representative for women of color when you can't even reason with yourself. Ouch. You can't understand where your insecurities come from and why you're not happy in your own skin. So you think because you can't figure your crap out that you can create confusion for me? Make me unsure about who I am? I know who I am. A daughter to a Hispanic father and a Caribbean mother, and I'm proud of that. And I'll read more of this after this break.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back, party people, good people of Earth and the known universe. Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, Captain Keith, talking about Cardi B and her last Instagram post in response to Azealia Banks' accusations about who she is. Where I left off, she says, I know who I am, a daughter to a Hispanic father and a Caribbean mother, and I'm proud of that. I've never dismissed my heritage or my culture. I've never pretended to sound like anyone or look like anyone for attention or to make me feel better about who I'm not. I've been this way always. You think because someone uses a lot of big words and long sentences that makes them smart? How smart are you if you don't know that the meaning of illiterate means to not know how to read or write? I can do both and speak two languages fluently. Just because I mix a few words up, forget to use commas or misspell a few words doesn't make me illiterate and doesn't make me stupid. And because I laugh a little harder or talk a little louder doesn't make me a caricature. You think you're advocating for women and you're doing the opposite. I pray you find peace in your own heart and reason in your own mind. Pray for your own success before you pray for the downfall of others. It's Cardi B's last Instagram post. There was a great post written very well. So, hey, there that is. Jennifer Love Hewitt on joining 911. When Ryan Murphy calls, you pick up the phone. So it's been 3 years since Jennifer Love Hewitt acted on TV, and one man is responsible for bringing her back to audiences. Ryan Murphy. Hewitt, who last appeared in Criminal Minds in 2015, is joining the cast of Murphy's Fox drama 911. It's been a little bit, Hewitt admitted to E! News and Fox 2018 upfronts. I love the show. I love doing drama. I just think the cast is extraordinary. And when Ryan Murphy calls, you pick up the phone and you do whatever he says because he's Ryan Murphy. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to find out who he is. So I'm intrigued. Yep. JLH is now part of Murphy's acting troupe. I'm a part of that family and I couldn't be happier about it. I just adore him, she said. Hewitt will play Maddie, the sister of Buck, Oliver Stark. She kind of has a dark, sordid situation that she's bringing with her, she teased, as they all do on 911. And I think she's going to find, hopefully, safety in dealing with other people's emergencies and maybe not dealing with her own for a while. Hewitt left Criminal Minds in 2015. She was preparing to give birth. She told us she wants to still be protective of being a mom first and foremost, but she's excited for her kids to visit and know who I used to be and still am. Hewitt shot to fame on Party of Five. Yes, she did a show. Freeform is in the process of remaking that show. That's the network Freeform. At first, I was a little upset. I thought everyone else got a call, but me to be like in it. And then I realized no one is doing it, so I felt better. She said, I'm excited to watch it. I love that show. Okay. As for whether Hewitt could make her own way around the Ryan Murphy universe of TV shows, we'll see. So 911 returns to Fox on Mondays this fall. So there that is. Last Man Standing's return may have just stopped Home Improvement revival talks. That's right, people. Tim Allen is back. And he quotes, "It's just a huge deal and I'm geeked to be here. After being canceled by ABC, Last Man Standing becomes TV's latest revival when Fox announced it was bringing back Tim Allen's Friday night sitcom for a 6th season. And when Allen spoke to E! News at the Fox upfronts on Monday, he was quick to credit the show's loyal viewers for its return. The fans, the viewers, they kept at it, Allen said. It was really brought back because of all of y'all out there. But could another one of Allen's beloved sitcoms also be making a comeback after almost 20 years? Home Improvement ran for 8 seasons in the 1990s and starred Allen as Tim, the toolman, Taylor, a TV host raising 3 young boys played by Zachary, Ty Bryan, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and Taryn Noah Smith, with his wife played by Patricia Richardson. Acknowledging the reboot fever is at an all-time high right now, Allen reveals some of the Home Improvement team had gotten together to discuss a potential on-screen reunion. Okay. That's a huge show. Grown-up isn't the word for that. I'm sorry, I got lost for a second there. What's the word for it then? The boys are grown up and they're just giants now, but all of us got together. Is it relevant? Is Tim Taylor relevant? It's a good question. However, Last Man Standing return seems to have halted those discussions for the time being, which makes sense. Everybody talked about it, and then, boom, this thing came together. I said, I like this show. I wanted to finish what we started. Thomas, who became a 90s heartthrob thanks to his turn as middle brother, Randy, made several appearances as 2 different characters during Last Man Standing. It was run on ABC, with Richardson also guest starring in a 2015 episode. That's nice. Since Home Improvement ended in 1999, wow, that's 20 years ago, okay? Smith, who played Taylor, the youngest son, has not acted with Brian, who played the oldest Taylor, boy Brad, appeared on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Smallville, Burn Notice, and in 2006, The Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. So Brad's been, so he's been busy. Last Man Standing returns this Fridays in the fall on Fox. There you go. Now, so that's the good news about Tim Allen's show, Last Man Standing, coming back. But wait, there's more. ABC boss still has no regrets about canceling Last Man Standing when they did. So that's interesting. If you think Fox's decision to revive Last Man Standing a year after the Tim Allen sitcom was canceled has ABC second-guessing his decision to part ways with the series after 6 seasons, think again. And I did not realize that show was on for 6 seasons. Okay. The decisions that we made last year in terms of canceling Last Man Standing were made with the best information that we had at the time. Channing Dungaree, president of ABC Entertainment, told reporters when asked if the success of Roseanne made her wish she still had the series to pair it with during a conference call ahead of the network's big 2018 upfronts presentation to advertisers in New York on Tuesday, May 15th. As for ABC's own successful revival with a touch of conservative politics, Dungy remains proud of what Roseanne has achieved this season, despite the controversies that have surrounded the series, thanks in part to Roseanne Barr's, shall we say, outspoken behavior, which she believes is coloring some folks' reaction to the show. I think that show, yes, we certainly did touch on some of that in the first episode in a very funny way. I think it allowed us between the differing political views of Roseanne and Jackie to address some issues that we think have been conversations at other family dining tables across the country. Dungy noted about the show's premiere episode that said, having kind of touched on that in the first episode of the season, I think when you look at the subsequent episodes of the run, the focus is not really on politics and much more on family and the everyday trials and tribulations this family faces that still bring them together. Yeah, I mean, definitely one of the appeals to the Roseanne show is that it's very funny and it's about a working class family who loves each other, rips on each other, but is always there for each other. It's family. So so that's the appeal to her show. And I didn't realize how much I missed like Darlene's character. Sarah Gilbert is great as Darlene. She's so hard-hitting and dark on that show. I love it. As for whether or not next season, which Dungy revealed is just a 13-episode order, despite its fall return, will focus on Roseanne's politics yet again. The exec admitted she doesn't think it will. I think they are going to continue on the path they were on towards the latter part of the season, which is away from politics and more focused on family, she said. So we'll see. We shall see. Piers Morgan attacks Meghan Markle's half-sister, calls her, "You little vulture." Oh, yeah, it's getting deep, people. Reportedly, Thomas Markle will not be walking Meghan Markle down the aisle when she marries Prince Harry this Saturday. Thomas, a former television lighting director, said Monday he had recently suffered a heart attack. Furthermore, he does not want to embarrass Meghan or the royal family any further after it was revealed Sunday he staged his paparazzi pictures. Okay, yeah, I didn't see those pictures, but now I'm going to have to check that out. So, yeah. Kensington Palace did not confirm Thomas's abrupt absence, saying only, "This is a deeply personal moment for Miss Markle. In the days before her wedding, she and Prince Harry ask again for understanding and respect to be extended to Mr. Markle in this difficult situation." Samantha Grant, Meghan's half-sister, took the fall for their father on ITV's Loose Women Monday after Thomas reportedly spoke to TMZ that afternoon. She appeared via satellite on ITV's Good Morning Britain Tuesday to shame the world's media for invading her dad's privacy. "He was living a very quiet, peaceful life, not as a recluse," she said of Thomas, who lives in Mexico. "He is a very intelligent man. He's been gregarious and worked in entertainment for 40 years. He wanted peace and quiet. He was avoiding the media. He hadn't spoken with the press and was doing just that. But when he called me panicking on the freeway because he's in a dangerous situation, being followed by 7 or 8 cars, I think there have been examples in history of how dangerous that can be. He was so stressed out. They rented the house next to him in Mexico, 4 or 5 of them. He can't open his blinds. He can't go anywhere without being followed. And really, it's quite atrocious and intrusive, and I think it's highly unethical." Samantha, who is estranged from Meghan, said Thomas was really having heart pains and suffered a heart attack a week before the wedding. It was an unbelievable amount of stress. To silence any skeptics, Samantha told the co-host, "As far as whether or not he had a heart attack, people have had heart attacks. They don't know they had until they had an EKG or EKG or ECG, I'm not sure. They're not always that loud and they're not always that dramatic. For him, that was the case." By that point, Piers Morgan was enraged. "You say this is all the media's fault, that he's not coming to the wedding because of this, because the media have been treating him in a shabby way? Many of our viewers may have watched your activities in a year and a half and think that you have treated your sister Meghan in a shabby way," he told Samantha, who was writing a tell-all book titled The Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister. Wow. That may be, of course, why you're not invited to the wedding. Ouch. Morgan pointed out that in the past, she has described Meghan as narcissistic and selfish, but Samantha insisted her previous comments were overblown. "I think a lot of what you're reading is from tabloids," she told Piers, "which are wholly inaccurate." As for why Samantha encouraged Thomas to stage paparazzi photos, she said, The goal of those photographs was basically because she's feeling defenseless. A person has the right to say enough is enough. She then shamed media vultures for allegedly taking advantage of him. But Pierce didn't believe Samantha was being honest about the situation. Here's the problem with all of this. In the last few weeks, the British media have been bombarded with letters from Kensington Palace saying he wants to be left alone. He explained, and now it turns out he was actively invading his own privacy. I now feel sorry for his own daughter, who doesn't have her father at the wedding because he has been caught up posing for paparazzi photos. He also accused Samantha of trading off her very tenuous connection with Meghan, whom she has not seen in 10 years. It's pretty rich coming from you, Samantha, to accuse media of being vultures. There's no bigger media vulture with this wedding than you, is there? More about this after this break.
Golden State Media Concepts bring you Book Review Podcast, a haven for bookworms of all ages and the widest genres, from mystery to memoirs, romance to comedy, fantasy to sci-fi. If you love to read, this is a podcast for you. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Book Review Podcast.
So, yeah, Meghan Markle's wedding's coming up. It's going to be a big deal, and the whole world's going to be watching. And her sister, went on Piers Morgan, and, let's finish what Piers has to say. How do you have the gall to come on here and talk about media vultures? You're doing a book called The Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister. You have been trashing her for 2 years, you little vulture. Samantha, who said she hoped Thomas would attend the wedding, then tried to explain why she gave her book a sensational title. I'm sure, Piers, your inquiring minds would like to know why it was that. I've made it clear in several interviews that you can't judge a book by its cover. And similarly, you can't judge a book by its title. The title was a mockery of social labels because they are injurious. I wanted a title that was opposite content, Samantha said. For intelligent minds to look at that, I assume that people would understand that. But I think people just want to look at the negative and they want to dig out the negative. That was the assumption. Regardless of Thomas's intentions, Piers' sympathies lie with Meghan in the days before her wedding. It seems to me that her father, your father, has let her down, he told Samantha. Wow. So watch E! Channel's 5-hour live from the royal wedding coverage on Saturday, May 19th, starting at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, for wall-to-wall coverage of Meghan and Harry's big day. So there you go. So this should be interesting. But yeah, all right, Mr. Morgan. Didn't know you had it in you, sir. Glad you do. Hugh Jackman teases Ryan Reynolds. Play a little hard to get. What does that mean? So Ryan Reynolds is apparently relentless. Hugh Jackman ended his run as Wolverine after last year's Logan, but Reynolds is determined to bring him out of retirement for a possible Deadpool crossover. When Reynolds appeared on ABC's Good Morning America Tuesday, Jackman pleaded with Reynolds to leave him alone. Hey, buddy, how are you, mate? Ryan, I love you, man. I love Deadpool. I can't wait to see the movie. You're one of my best friends. Blake, the fam, the whole thing. But back it up a little, right? Play a little hard to get. It's too much, Jackman said in the video. It's not sexy, am I right? With a laugh, Reynolds explained to George Stephanopoulos, I'm trying to get him to play Wolverine again, and he won't listen. He insists on singing and dancing brilliantly elsewhere. Jackman is riding high after The Greatest Showman's surprising success at the box office, but Reynolds has no intention of quitting his quest to bring him back as Wolverine. I'm going to have to step up my game a little, he said. I'm going to just post his cell phone number online. Yeah. Sure you will, Ryan. Taraji P. Henson dishes on fiancé Kelvin Hayton's romantic proposal. So Taraji P. Henson's fiancé surprised the heck out of everybody with his romantic proposal. So So Entertainment Tonight's Leanne Aguilera caught up with the Empire star at Fox's upfront presentation on Monday. And the 47-year-old actress spilled all the details on how her beau, former NFL pro Kelvin Hayden, popped the question. I think he was trying to wait and he couldn't wait because he had the ring. And I guess it was burning a hole in his pocket, Henson recalled. I'm in Atlanta right now filming What Men Want. And I told him, I said, I'm going to come home for Mother's Day. And he said, yeah, come home. And I noticed the look in his eyes, but I didn't put it together. Henson announced her engagement with a sweet Instagram post on Sunday, but admitted to Entertainment Tonight that it took her a moment to catch on to Hayden's big surprise. He takes me where we had our first date. I didn't put that together. I didn't put it together until we went into the party room after we ate, and I saw a violinist because he was trying to say it was his friend's birthday, which it was on Friday. Oh, Round's going to have a little get together in the back room. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. We'll already be there. I go back there and I go, Round's not into violins. What's going on here? She continued. And as I'm putting the dots together, I turn around. He's on his knee. And then the river of tears just started and my lashes ended up on the floor. The actress added that the proposal adds another special milestone to Mother's Day weekend for her. Her 24-year-old son, Marcel, was also born over the holiday weekend. Okay, wow. Henson also stated that Hayden, a 34-year-old Super Bowl champion who played for the Indianapolis Colts, Atlanta Falcons, and Chicago Bears over his 9-year career, did a great job with the ring, which she showed off in her engagement announcement. It's perfect. She goes, it's not too big, it's not too gaudy, it's just perfect. He did great. As for the wedding specifics, Henson said she's starting to plan, but wants to take a moment to save her life with her fiance first. People are hitting me up. It's starting to get overwhelming, and we're talking a year from now. I know how fast that's going to go, so it's a lot. I'm trying to just enjoy being blissfully engaged for a minute. So that's really cool. Terrence Howard made a comment about what happened. He states, I think he did a wonderful job. Terrence, of course, plays Henson's on-screen husband, Lucius Lyon. She had no idea, and next thing you know, he was on his knees and she was just crying. He did a wonderful, wonderful job. When good people find each other, they should be together. You know what I'm saying? Added Jesse Smollett, who plays the Lion's middle son, Jamal. Work on it. You love each other, and it's great. I just love her so much. Someone that's so full of love and deserves to have somebody that's going to do it. However, Smollett warned the Lion Pride takes their protectiveness of Henson seriously, laughing. We're always going to have our eye on you, Kelvin. I love you, bro, but we're always going to have our eye on you. Her heart is safe. That's really nice. And in more entertainment news, folks, newly single Kendra Wilkinson requests dating and sex advice. Yes, folks, the former playmate from Playboy, who was one of the Hef's girls, she's asking for dating and sex advice. I kid you not. So let's get to it. Kendra Wilkinson is ready to hit the dating scene following her split from Hank Baskett. And in the age of digital romance, we're better to start getting prepped than on social media. Wilkinson, who announced she was divorcing Baskett in April, took to Twitter on Monday to seek advice on how she should approach her love life. What's your opinion? Do I start dating / sex now or give myself more time? She quizzed her followers. My heart is broken, but I have needs. LMAO, hashtag gimme lovin', hashtag not getting younger, hashtag 33 here I come. The tweet was met with a stream of responses from Cheeky and NSFW answers like use the vibrator, to which Wilkinson replied that it's all out of batteries. Okay. To genuine and encouraging words of wisdom. So you can see she has diverse followers. Follow your heart, not your mind, wrote one fan. I'm a young divorced mother who started dating before divorce was final. My advice is to take your time dating slowly. Another user declared the mom of two should get out there and do the damn thing, which prompted Wilkinson to ask, "What do I go?" Along with the crying. Maybe she meant to say, "Where do I go?" Along with the crying face emoji. Similarly, when told, "Go get you some," she questioned, "Where do I find some?" While she may not have found any clear answers, the witty responses kept Wilkinson entertained until the time came to play with her son Hank IV, who's 8, and daughter Elijah 3. LMAO, I can't. You guys making me laugh today. Thank you for that. Time to fly kites with my babies. Wilkinson filed for divorce from Baskett in April after almost 9 years of marriage. She listed January 1st, 2018 as their separation date. Following the news, a source told Entertainment Tonight that the former Playboy playmate was grief-stricken but aware that this is the best for her, Hank, and their children. Okay. There that is. Willow Smith reveals to Mom Jada that she used to cut her wrists. "I lost my sanity at one point." So she's opening up, about her intense period, about an intense period in her personal life. The 17-year-old singer revealed to her mom, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, that she used to harm herself during an intimate discussion on Monday's episode of Jada's Facebook Watch series, Red Table Talk. When Jada asked Willow what her biggest loss was in life, Willow candidly said that it occurred after she achieved fame thanks to her 2010 hit Whip My Hair. I would have to say I honestly feel like I lost my sanity at one point, Willow said. It was after that whole Whip My Hair thing, and I had just stopped doing singing lessons, and I was kind of just in this gray area of who am I? Do I have a purpose? Is there anything I can do besides this? That's a lot to ask yourself at that age. After the tour and the promotion and all that, they wanted me to finish my album, she continues, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. After all that kind of settled down, it was like a lull. I was listening to a lot of dark music, and it was just so crazy. I was just plunged into this black hole, and I was like cutting myself and doing crazy things. Jada, her mom, 46, was clearly shocked by Willow's revelation. Willow says not even her older brothers, Jayden and Trey, knew about what she was doing, and that she only told one friend. I mean, you can't even see it, Willow said, checking for scars on her forearms and wrists. There's still a little something there. Totally lost my sanity for a moment there. I never talk about it because it was such a short, weird point in my life. But you have to pull yourself out of it. Asked why she was cutting herself, Willow explained, I honestly felt like I was experiencing so much emotional pain, but my physical circumstances weren't reflecting that. Later, Willow shared how she was able to stop. One night, I was like, this is actually psychotic, and after that, I just stopped, she recalled. It's been like 5 years. And Jada stated, well, I had no idea. Clearly still in disbelief. I never saw any signs of it. So, well, that happens. Spike Lee goes in on that Trump, mother lover Trump, at press conference for his new film, Black Klansman. So Spike Lee's goal was to get the attention of if Spike Lee's goal was to get the attention of President Trump and the White House, we safely conclude that he got it the other day. So let's go into what happened. Tuesday's press conference for his new film at Cannes, The Black Klansman, which is actually a remake, which premiered Monday at the Cannes Film Festival to a prolonged standing ovation. You can also check out the trailer. You should check it out. It looks very good. Spike spoke about his controversial decision to end the film with the documentary footage of the violent protests by neo-Nazis and white supremacists from last summer in Charlottesville, Virginia, including scenes of the killing of a counter-protester, Heather Heyer. We have a guy in the White House, I'm not going to say his effing name, who defined that moment not just for Americans but the world, and that mother lover was given the chance to say, we are about love and not hate, Lee said, and that mother lover did not denounce the mother lover clan, the alt-right, and those Nazi mother lovers. It was a defining moment, and he could have said to the world, not just to the United States, we were better than that. Black Klansman, which follows the fact-based story of an African-American police officer who infiltrated the Klan in the 1970s, ends with the montage of footage from the Charlottesville riots and dedication to Hayer. It's an ugly, ugly blemish in the United States of America, Lee said of the riots, and the response of Trump, who initially blamed both sides for the violence. Heather should be alive now. It's a murderous act. Lee said he reached out to Hayer's mother, Susan Bro, and received her permission to include footage of her daughter being run down by a white supremacist in a car. I was not going to put that murder scene in the film without her blessing, Mr. Lee said. He then turned his attention to Trump. That mother lover has the nuclear code, he said. Ouch. We look to our leaders. They give us direction to make moral decisions, he continued, adding that Trump's encouragement of right-wing extremists is a worldwide issue. This is not just something that pertains to the United States of America. This bullcrap has gone over the world. This right-wing bullcrap is not just America. It's all over the world, and we have to wake up. We can't be silent. It's not a black or white or brown problem. It's everybody. This film, to me, is a wake-up call. He concluded, stuff is happening, and it's a topsy-turvy, and the fake has been trumpeted as the truth. That's what this film is about. I know my heart, I don't care what the critics say or anybody else, but we are on the right side of history with this film. Spike wasn't through. He also challenged U.S. complacency about its history. The so-called American cradle democracy, that's bullcrap, he said. The United States of America was built on the genocide of Native people and slavery. That is the fabric of the United States of America, he said. As my Brooklyn brother Jay-Z would say, facts. So, there we have it, folks. And that's the entertainment news for this week. Once again, you've been listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Keith. Hope you had a good time. I know I did. Good people of Earth and the known universe. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you somewhere out in space.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.